I think Batterbiev just completely upped his game.
I thought it'd be similar to the Anthony Yard fight.
I was a little bit disappointed with Smith.
Beterbiev looked fresh.
He looked nervous, Callum Smith, I thought.
The disappointing thing for me is he doesn't use his height.
He's going to win because he's prepared himself better.
You can't hit him in the head, hit him in the body, hit him in the body.
I am a Callum Smith fan.
I think it's a bit disrespectful to both of them.
The Saudis will put on the biggest show that boxing has ever seen.
Okay, welcome back to BoxCast, and with special guest Simon again, and we're going to review the light heavyweight fight between Artur Beterbiev and Callum Smith. Your thoughts, Simon? Well, you were right on the round, and I think I was right on who was going to win. And as some of our commenters said, you only think Callum Smith's going to win if you're British. Although there's a few commentators in America and that.
There's a lot of boxing know-hows, if you like, that we're picking. Callum Smith, the nod. They thought that he was going to go and knock him out. I think Batterbiev just completely upped his game on the night.
I think the time off has done Beterbiev good, and I think for Callum Smith it's gone the other way. He looked a little bit ring rusty.
I mean, 2 years out the ring was... I'm not saying that if he'd fought in between that time the result had been any different, but 2 years out the ring, and it's like, was he living the life of a boxer?
Was he as disciplined as he should be? We don't,
because you can look at Batterbiev and you know for a fact he's been in the gym every single day. Has Callum Smith? I don't know. Can't say. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. I was a little bit disappointed with Smith.
Yeah, you've been saying. I mean, to be honest, it went how I thought. I mean, the only thing was I thought it'd go a bit longer. I thought it'd be similar to the Anthony Yard fight.
I mean, I've watched the fight 3 times now. The first time I watched it, I gave Smith round 2 and round 6. The third time I've watched it, I haven't given him a round.
I gave him round 2 because I think
I didn't give him a round.
First round, I think Batterbiev came out and just laid it on him right at the beginning of the round, and it took him about half the round, about 2 minutes in, before I think Callum Smith knew where he was, which, ring rust or whatever. Maybe just Batterbiev looked fresh, as if, like I said, the break has done him good. He looked better than he did in the Anthony Yard fight. And I think Callum Smith still looked a little bit...
He looked nervous, Callum Smith, I thought.
Yeah, I think there's a fair bit of ring rust there. And then he got into it near the end of the first round. And then the second round, I think he did quite well. That's how I thought. And I thought it'll be like a bit of swinging one way or the other. But then Batterbiev came in the third, stepped it up. I think Callum Smith gave him a reasonable go in the fourth or the fifth. But then it was just Batterbiev. He just wore him down. I didn't understand. Look like Callum Smith had anything left.
I didn't understand Callum Smith's tactics sitting on the ropes.
That's not a good idea against the most destructive force in boxing.
I'd have been right if you feel them ropes on your back.
Swing, because he can move out.
He can move out,
and
he's
got a couple of times.
He's got a good jab. He's got a good left hook.
The disappointing thing for me is he doesn't use his height and his length. He had a reach advantage and a height advantage, fairly significant. And he fights like a smaller fighter.
Yeah, and
it doesn't make sense. It's the one advantage you've got against him. And he tried the jab, but he kept trying it to the face. And I think Beterbiev's defense was better in this than against Yard.
Yeah, his defense was a lot better. I think that's what he's been working on, his defense. I think Beterbiev had a lot of respect for Callum Smith.
Yeah.
Was worried about Callum Smith's power, and that's what he's been working on in his defence.
His in and out defence was a lot better, especially to the head. He didn't really get. Yeah. He did get caught to the body, and I don't think Callum Smith made enough of it. He did try, but he kept trying to go to the head, which you can feint to the head, but go to the body, because the body had a fair bit of success. I mean, it didn't really rock Beterbiev, but, the body shots are normally cumulative. I mean, there's devastating body shot punches, but I think most of them are cumulative. It slows the guy down.
Yeah.
And his corner was giving it to him, like, look, go, you can't hit him in the head, hit him in the body, hit him in the body, you're having success.
Yeah,
and I don't think he did enough. But I think it's easy to say when you're sitting outside, when the monster is on top of you.
Do you know what? I just think I underestimated Batterbiev. He is
I think a fair few people underestimate his
really,
boxing
really
skill.
good. But, you know, is Callum Smith, have I overrated Callum Smith?
I think a lot of people did a bit of both. I think Callum Smith is a very good boxer, but Beterbiev is elite. He's in that category at the top end of the table.
It's just that the 2 times Callum Smith's come up against
that level of opponent, he's looked.
He hasn't been the Callum Smith I know, though. It's like he's froze.
Well, I think it's the pressure. Where he struggled is against pressure boxers, which even against John Ryder, he struggled, and that's a contentious decision.
Yeah, just
Canelo, he was just I think some starstruck and some just the pressure boxer it just wore him down, and then Batterbiev is just the ultimate pressure boxer, I think, and he just wears everybody down. And I think there is, even on other commentators, there was a bit of underestimating of Beterbiev's talent.
I think what it was is
focusing on his power.
He's 38, and I think everyone was expecting Father Time catches up with it. I think after the Yard fight, because Yard did give a really good account of himself.
Yard is a bit of credit to both. I think Yard gave it his all properly and didn't focus in like one area. I think he had a lot of varied punches and a lot of things. And I think Beterbiev was a little bit off the ball. Yeah. Here, I think Beterbiev was fully on his game, and Callum Smith.
Well, Beterbiev usually comes out quite slow, doesn't he? But he didn't this time.
He just pounced on him in the first bit.
And I think Callum Smith should have matched him with that. It seemed to be Callum Smith went for the slow start. I don't know whether it was Callum Smith thinking.
I think they were feeling him out and seeing what he was going to.
He's 38. He won't last the 12 rounds. Them Russians, they last the 12 rounds. I think
it's like you said at the beginning. It's Batterbiev's training is meticulous. Yeah. He's constantly in the gym.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like he doesn't normally gas out no matter what. He does. The thing is, he does pace himself very well. He's very efficient. He's like
that's where you've got to be. That's where I was disappointed.
Golovkin, in a way, he's very, very. It's not just a wild puncher. He's very efficient and very accurate with those punches.
He is, and that's where I was a bit disappointed with Callum Smith. Is he should have been making him work a lot more, I think.
Well, the other disappointing thing is with the guy with the long reach, he was having a tippy-tappy jab, and Beterbiev's jab was like power punch. It's not really a jab, it's a power punch.
You can't tippy
it's like in a way, it's just
you can't
like
tippy-tappy jag. You can't tippy-tap with him. You need to establish a strong jab straight away.
You've got to keep him off you. If you can't keep him off you, you've lost.
There were times when Callum Smith actually opened up.
Well, the second round he did well, and it was like in the fourth or fifth.
Why isn't he doing
round,
that more?
I think a few people gave him the sixth round.
And then he'd go and sit on the ropes, and it was just.
The problem was he's sitting on the ropes.
Yeah,
I remember he's been caught or whether he hasn't.
I remember the Pacquiao De La Hoya fight, and Freddie Roach drilled it into Pacquiao. If you feel them ropes,
just get out of there.
You get twist, turn, do whatever, just get off them, because that's where he's the bigger man. He'll overpower you there, and I think that needed drilling into Callum. I mean, Callum Smith has got good feet as well, so.
Well, he did it a few times. There's a few where he spun out of it, and he had good movement to get more. Where he got out the punches. He just didn't do it enough. Whether that's just the mental wear down of the pressure, or
possibly
ring rust, or a combination of all the above. I think Beterbiev is the higher level. I think you've got to take a hats off to him and say he is. Elite.
Yeah, do you know what
He's confirmed, because if you look at his resume,
great, and it was a really good stoppage as well.
Yeah.
Because I think the referee after the second knockdown was going to let Callum Smith continue.
Yeah, I think it is.
So his cornerman is Buddy McGirt coming in and basically.
I mean, I don't understand why they didn't throw the towel in. Or maybe because they didn't think he was serious. He's trying to get his attention.
The thing is sometimes if you throw the towel, obviously it's up to the referee, isn't it? If you throw the towel in, the referee can kick it out. I've seen that done a few times. But Buddy McGirt just literally went and walked in front of the referee.
Stop the fight.
And then the fight has to be stopped then.
Yeah.
So it was a really good stoppage.
It took him a bit of time to get his attention. But
it did. That's why I think the referee was going to let it continue. Yeah, I understand it's a world title fight. You want to give the fighter every opportunity.
Well, I think you give him the chance of the first one because even he was out of it in the first one, but the second one, no, you got to stop
and I don't
it.
think
It's dangerous.
I don't think he was properly hurt, Callum Smith. But I think he could have been.
You don't want him to get properly hurt.
Yeah,
if it continues.
Yeah, and he's never took proper punishment, and he's got wife and kids at home, and the main thing at the end of the day of boxing is everyone goes back home to their family. So yeah.
No, I had no complaints. I think it was the right time to stop it.
It was a really good
First
decision.
one I would have let go. Second one, I think you've got to stop the fight.
Well done to the cornerman.
It was only going one way that way, and it's not a good place.
But that's what surprised me. It was the ref, and I was looking at the referee.
I'm surprised he didn't stop it because he's quite a senior ref.
He's going to let him carry on here.
Yeah.
I think that's why Buddy McGee just jumped straight in the ring. It was like nah. So sometimes fight is bravery. That's why you need a good cornerman to
when you've got a guy like
him.
Beterbiev and you know where it's gone, and you know it's just going downhill now, you've got to stop it. There's no shame in that. It's not the thing. It's just you've lost the fight by that point. There's no point continuing.
And Callum Smith at the end, he said the better man won. There was no excuses. The better man won. I think Callum Smith will be devastated.
Yeah, well, I think he said at the end, isn't it? It's realising you're not the number one.
Yeah.
But it's like I said to you a while ago, when he moved up, he's just unlucky because in any normal division, he is, I don't think he's an undisputed champion, but he is a belt holder, world title level holder. That's his level. The problem is you've got, in the division he went to, you had Canelo, which is just like, you're not going to win there unless you're really, really special. And then he's come up and he's got Bivol and Batterbiev. And I think if you take them two out, he's got a chance of getting... Then he could become undisputed. I think you've got two boxers at a level that is beyond his level. And it's a bit of a shame, but sometimes that's just life. You can't...
I mean, Batterbiev now, he goes... Well, there's only one fight out there for him, isn't there? And I think it's one of the most... It's a fight that's got to happen.
Well, the funny thing is, did you see his post-fight thing where he's just like, well, I haven't even been told a date, I haven't been said anything. Even though in the ring, Bob Adams let Ramadan go, which is about April, and it'll be 2-3 months after that.
Yeah, I know.
But they did it yesterday on the...
Bivol signed and done, isn't he, with the Saudis?
Signed before the fight, about 2 weeks before. Well, that's what he was joking. He goes, you always sign. He's like, he's always signed.
He's going to sign because the money that's going to be on the table is going to be massive.
But it was on the Ngannou Joshua thing.
Yeah.
Either His Excellency Turk Al-Sheikh just said it anyway. He goes, there's 3 things. There's the obviously Joshua and Ngannou, which we will do a video about later on, and the undercard of that looks getting better and better. And then he said the winner of them, they want to do the undisputed fight. They've made an undisputed belt, at least the design of it. So, and he goes, the other fight they want to have is Batterbiev and Bivol. So
I mean, it's the only fight.
It's the only one that makes sense.
I mean, you want to see that fight, don't you?
Yeah.
Let's not go back how we were last year, the year before, and over the last 20 years, where these massive fights don't get made.
Yeah.
That is the one good thing about... Well, there's a couple of good things about the Saudis. I'm still like that with them, but they are making the fights that we want to see.
They're making the exciting fights.
Bivol Batterbiev is a great fight.
I think that's one of the best fights. Well, that could be the fight of 2023.
Yeah. Where does Callum Smith go?
I think you've got to hope that they ride off. If Batterbiev wins, I think he rides off into the sunset, or he moves weight up.
Callum Smith has got some fights there.
Bivol's going to stick around. The thing with Callum Smith is, and there's another fight coming up, Joshua Buatsi.
I mean, he could fight the winner of that.
There's about 4 of them that are like, you've got Callum Smith, Buatsi, Aziz, and who's the other one? There's 4 like British talents.
You could still say Anthony Yard.
Yeah, Anthony Yard. There's 4 of them in that equation that all have that. They all make tasty fights, at least at a British level.
The winner of Buatsi Aziz against Callum Smith's a massive fight in the UK. It's a huge fight. I'd want to see that.
Well, Callum Smith, Anthony Yard. Callum Smith, the winner of them. There's a load of it. They could do like the mini super series between them.
It's whether Callum Smith's got
I don't know if he's still got the hunger,
the motivation to go. Yeah. Do want to be
he's
challenging.
Step down from his
all
level.
Right, it's a bit higher than domestic level because the
I think all of them are quite good, a bit above domestic level.
Is he going to want to? Will he get up for one of them fights? I don't know.
there's no point continuing unless he's really got the drive to do it.
Yeah.
The thing is that you have got the chance if, depending on what happens in the Beterbiev fight, the belts could scatter. They could leave the division or whatever they do. Or you might get a chance to fight Bivol. So
yeah, but the thing I will say is,
Bivol wins,
if he does retire, I mean, all the Smith brothers have been a credit to boxing.
Yeah.
They really, really have to give us some.
Two of them have been against Canelo, Liam, and Callum.
Been great.
And I don't care what they say. That's still some achievement.
Yeah, I mean,
to get in the ring with
Liam
one
Smith
of the greatest of all time is a good achievement.
Callum Smith, he's been a world champion.
Multiple.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's one weight.
He only won the Super 6, didn't he? In the
Super Series.
Well, it was the Super Series. He has had a great career.
Yeah.
I think inactivity has been a big problem for him.
Mm-hmm. He's just unlucky in who do you fight.
Yeah, and I just think
because him versus like Joe Smith Jr. or one of these other guys who had the belts would have been good, really interesting fight. You've got two elite guys who are just levels above, which makes it awkward. The same as in super middleweight where he had Canelo. It's just the same thing. You've just got somebody who's a levels above everybody else.
Yeah, and I mean, but
well, maybe not Benavides, but everybody else. I think either way, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
he's had a great career. He can stop.
He's got enough money. I know he got a huge payday for the Super 6. Huge payday. He's got his health intact. He's never took a proper beating, so we can like all the Smith brothers. To be fair, they've all gone out
on the shield,
but they've gone out healthy, not taking beatings. So, and they'll stay around boxing. All of them will. The good experienced lads. I'm sure they might even have a gym already or something there. Over the water in Liverpool.
Training, isn't it?
Because some of them, a lot of them have been in great fights. So we'll see what Callum does. But for Beterbiev,
there's only one fight.
Yeah.
At that weight, there's only one fight in Bivol, and that is extremely interesting. They're saying now, they did say on that undercard, they're aiming for the bout in June. So I presume with allowing for time, it's probably going to be near the end of June.
Yeah.
Which would be good timing.
Because I think the winner will fight Jai Opetaia.
Well, Opetaia versus Batterbiev, or Bivol as well, but like Beterbiev and him would make it serious.
Yeah. I mean, I might be wrong, but from what I've heard is they have signed Opetaia.
Well, assuming Opetaia goes through Bradis and
which he will.
His belt back.
He was on a 3-fight deal, so he's had one against Zorro.
Yeah.
This is Opetaia I'm talking about. He'll have one against Maris Bradis. And then I think it'll be...
Which will be for his belt back, which he shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, and then I think we'll have another day of reckoning in December, but it'll be the biggest day of reckoning card you'll ever come across. The other thing I didn't know
is that they've got the other thing he dropped out was they want to do a 5-fight deal, the best of Eddie Hearn versus the best of
Matchroom versus Queensbury. I think that'll
be like the day of reckoning.
Yeah, because I think they'll have Bivol, like you say, Beterbiev will be June-ish. The winner of that,
July, I think,
the winner of that will
after,
fight in December against Opetaia, I think. Maybe at a catch weight, I don't think. And then I think you'll have the winner of Tyson Fury, Usyk, versus the winner of Joshua Ngannou in December as well. And I think there'll be a few other big undisputed title fights on that undercard.
Well, I think they're going to try and get Inoue there at some point. Not the first one, but I think because I think they're going to do that in Tokyo. But I think they're going to try and get one fight.
I think they did. Look, watch out for December, because I think the Saudis will put on the biggest show that boxing has ever seen. I think that's what they're aiming for, and it will be.
It's going to take a bit of top and to get past the day of reckoning one, so they need to really. If they're going to
but I think it's already in place.
Yeah.
I think it's already in place. They just need these fighters to align. They don't want any upsets.
What do you think about Oscar De La Hoya's missing out on it? Everybody thinks he's being foolish.
He is foolish, stupid. But the problem with Oscar De La Hoya now is his fighters will say, well, hold on. These are all fighting in Saudi, getting however much. And you get, all right, it's not all about the money, but they're fighting the biggest names.
Mm-hmm.
The likes of Ryan Garcia, he wants to fight the biggest names.
Yeah.
So we might... They'll buy themselves out of the contract and go, do you know what, we're going over to Saudi, see you later. I mean, what was his response to, I think, Turki Al-Sheikh's response to Oscar De La Hoya was, okay, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And he'll be frozen out. If Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren can work together.
And even Bob Adams got there with
Bob Adams. You know, the day of reckoning, there were 12 promoters there. I mean, I think he's missed his boat now. I think Turki Al-Sheikh's one of them. Is he'll give you that opportunity. If you don't take it, okay, you're not getting another one. So I think
his only way in is if there's a compelling enough fight, and then he bites the bullet and goes.
I don't think he will. I think what will happen now is the Golden Boy fighters, they'll start looking. Oh, well, let's go to Top Rank, Matchroom, Queensbury.
One of the ones who will. So you reckon he's shooting himself in the foot?
Oh, massively. But he always has done, hasn't he? He's a bit of a I mean, I love De La Hoya as a fighter, but as a promoter, I'm not all that big a fan. He's gone a bit strange the past couple of years. I've got to be honest.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see on that one.
But there's plenty of other massive fights out there. I mean, the Golden Boy stable, you don't really need it because, like I say, there's massive fights out there. And I do like that Queensbury versus Matchroom versus Queensbury thing.
Well, they're doing things that haven't been done, and it's things you want to see. So, like the top five.
I'm just wondering whether Turki Al-Sheikh will say, right, whoever, we will put 5 events on, whichever a promotion company wins the most, I'll give you this much. I reckon he's done that as well.
Oh no, they'll be competitive. I think
but it's good for
Eddie
boxing.
Hearn and Frank Warren, I think they're competitive anyway.
Yeah, it is good for boxing. But like I say, my one concern is don't forget about your UK fans. We still want events in the UK.
I think you want events everywhere. You've got to keep them. I mean, even the Batterbiev thing was in Quebec City, wasn't it? So
I think I said last time is I hope
in a way he's going to have his jacket.
Yeah, I hope that these fighters don't get paid however many millions for fighting in Saudi and then think their next fight, if it's in the UK, whatever, we're not fighting for that much. I got paid this much last time. I hope that doesn't happen. I really hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think we don't want it to spoil. But I think a lot of the fights at the moment, they aren't of the spoiling type. They are of, they are things people want to see.
Yeah, they are definitely 100%.
And the fights that haven't been made, which is what they're trying to make, like the undisputed ones and all the other.
Yeah, I mean,
and they've shaken up the heavyweight division somewhat, which is
shaking it up.
Needed,
Yeah.
I mean, it's made it interesting again.
Yeah, it
in
and like you say, and then
before.
Looks like we are going to get Batterbiev. That'll be an interesting podcast discussion when we have to discuss that one. But the Saudis at the moment are doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet you Turki Al-Sheikh was made up that Batterbiev won actually because Callum Smith had thrown a spanner in the works if he'd have won.
Well, I think it's a lot. Bivol was pretty happy, I think, as well. They all wanted that fight.
No, it's good, but yeah, I'll be Batterbiev going back to him.
He's the real deal.
He's getting better as he gets older, isn't he? I mean, and I know.
Should we touch on the Tony Bellew thing? There's
been a lot of mention about his analytical findings in the drugs.
Well, just to clear it up, from what I understand, he hasn't failed a test. He's had the test. The first
abnormal, findings,
which you can have if you've been training or something, because you can get a spike in various bits and pieces, your testosterone, your growth hormone, etc. Because you do them anyway. Everybody gets them. And then what they've done is they test you twice again. I believe both blood and urine, and then all of them come back normal. So it's basically not news, but just put out there.
Yeah, and what Eddie
Hearn
Hearn was saying is a lot of people jumped on Eddie Hearn saying, "Oh, what Eddie Hearn asked for was a more in-depth. Well, what is it? Which you should be allowed to do. But he hasn't failed. So let's clear that up. He has not failed the drugs test. He just had an abnormal spike finding, if you like.
And he said lots of people have that they actually
they
quite a lot of people
can.
get it, because if you're an athlete, normal people will, athletes will get.
Yeah.
You can spike it anyway, and then it's you measured over, so there's no failing. So
and like they say, you'd have to be. As an amateur. Oh, I didn't realise as well. He's fought Usyk 3 times in the amateurs.
2-1 it is.
Yeah. Interesting.
And I think when the one he won, I think he's put him on his backside.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. No easy feat either. I think if I knew that, I might have picked him to win. No, but no.
Well, he's got like 350 or something.
Yeah, but the drugs testing in the amateurs as well is there's a lot of it.
He'll have been tested all the way through.
And what they'd have done is they'd have found this spike, and then the tests after that would have been total. They'd have gone in the gym.
They do quite a lot of stuff afterwards. They're not just
so
when you end them in.
I don't know.
Well, my thinking's the same. He's had like 300, I think it's 350 ashore. It's over 300 amateur fights. He's won most of them, bar 5. I think 2 of those lost against Usyk. One time he's beaten, so he's 2-1 against Usyk.
And there'd have been drugs testing throughout.
They'll have done all, and he's been in the Olympics. He'll done all of that, and then he's all his fighting. If you consider his resume, he's got to have been tested.
And for the Olympics, I think the drug testing during the Olympics is even more. So,
and he's always been like that. So I think ages. The thing you remember, he doesn't drink, he doesn't go out, he doesn't do anything. He just basically eats, sleeps, trains.
If he's living that life. Yeah, you hope it. You hope any boxer's not a drug cheat, but that's why we have the. That's why they do the testing.
And I think it's a bit taken away from him. It's a bit I think it's a bit disrespectful to both of them.
But I think
than him really saying the fight, because you directing the fight against.
I don't. I think what Varda should have done then is they shouldn't have publicised the fact that. If he's passed the test, which he has, why publicise it and say, "Oh, we found a spike"?
I'm not sure it's them, but they have to pass on the news.
It shouldn't have been broadcast because he's still passed it. I don't think that should have been broadcast. I think that should have been kept in house. Because if he's passed everything, then you don't need to go on about it.
It's basically no news. It's just been thrown in. It's a spanner in the works. I don't think it is. And Tony Bellew picking up, but I love Tony Bellew. But I do. I can understand his passion for obviously supporting his other fellow Scouse boxer.
He is, and Tony Bellew hates
quite a lot
drug
of
cheats.
Yeah. But he's not Jarrell Miller. Let's put it like that.
No.
And he's consistent. He's always been the same. It's not like it's changed. He's not like he's got older. Is he getting better? Yeah, but he's not getting better in his physicality. He's getting better in his boxing. It's his skill level that is going up.
It's not.
But he's also, if you take into account his amateur degree, he's not just a
but if he is living the boxing lifestyle, and what I mean by living the boxing lifestyle is, right, you've got 2 types of fighters. Ricky Hatton,
who enjoyed a drink or 2.
Who enjoyed, after his fight, and he enjoyed partying, went up to however many stone, and then he'd do a 12-week camp to get it all off. Batterbiev, I don't think
he's like that all the time.
Yeah, constantly. It's 8 hours. I reckon 8 hours a day in the gym, sparring, running, eating healthy, no drinking, no nothing. So he lives that life. I was watching an interview with, I think it was Dominic Ingle, and he was saying, Callum Smith's had 2 years off. Has he, for the past 3 months, gone into training camp, and before that not done nothing?
Yeah.
Whereas for a fact, Batterbiev, all right, he's had 12 months off. He has been in that gym every single day.
Yeah.
And that's why.
He said even after these
he was saying, if you had 2 exactly the same boxers, one done a 6-week camp and one done a 4-month camp. The one who's done the 4-month camp is going to win because he's prepared himself better, lived the life of a boxer, and
I think Batterbiev's like the
and that's it. He lives a life,
ultimate version of that, isn't he?
He fights grizzly bears and wolves in the Russian mountains or something, doesn't he?
Well, like I said, he's actually Chechen, but he's grown up in Dagestan, and he's actually done some wrestling and stuff.
Yeah,
I think he was sort of an angry kid, and then his brothers have pulled him into doing both wrestling and boxing. He's just taking the boxing.
Yeah, I mean, the emotion he showed of winning shows that he's not a robot, as people were saying. He's got emotions. He was absolutely
if you see his post-fight interview, he's got a lot of banter. He's quite good, even though obviously, as he says, his English isn't the best, but it is better than what they make out, what he makes out. But he's very good in answering the things. He was like, and that's what I like about him, like him and Bivol and people like that. And
they live
and Co. The personality is so
and they live the sport of boxing. They live
train
it.
Like
and to be the best now, you've got to. You can't you can't have that party lifestyle in between it. Have it after, boxing's a short career. It's what, 10, 15 years.
You can have it afterwards.
Have it afterwards when you've got the money.
Yeah, because you're still not going to be that old.
No, 35 maybe is like retirement age now. Well, I say that he's 38, isn't he? So
well, a few of them are a bit even. Callum Smith's about that, isn't he? 35 or something.
But so go and have your life after boxing, but before that, just train constantly.
It's how much you want it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think if you want it, then you've got to put that sacrifice in to get it. And I think he has. And I think the drugs thing is.
Take no notice of it unless VADA come out or whoever's doing the drug testing and say, there's a positive thing. Don't mention it. Because like you say, all it does is put a shadow over.
Well, the thing is, if you've got all these people sparring with him and everything else, they just like he's genuinely like that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, somewhere or other, it'll come out along the line.
Yeah. Don't mention it. I
think it's nonsense.
Yeah.
It detracts from the fight.
Yeah.
And the fight was good. He's just one guy.
It was a good event. And there was,
level. Well, there was a couple of other. Did you see the Mbili?
Do you know what? I haven't watched the full undercard because, like I say, I've watched the main fight 3 times. I just get more and more frustrated every time I watch it because, like I say, I am a Callum Smith fan. It was on at after o'clock in the morning as well.
Well, the US Canadian are sort of there, isn't it?
So
but the one Mbili he gets hit a bit too much, but he's
just a warrior, isn't he? Just dead down.
He's a pressure puncher as well. And the other guy, the Australian guy, Murdoch, took a lot of damage, but then they just stopped it because
didn't he call out Canelo after the fight? Or
they were like, wait a minute, Lever, who are you? It's a bit early for that, I think.
But you know what? Fair play to him.
Yeah, but you got to have ambition. So from both sides,
fair play to him.
But I think he needs to tighten up his defense a little bit, and and maybe organize his work a bit. But they say that's what he does in all the fights. So he goes about 12 rounds. He did about 6 or 7 there. It was quite good. The Maloney and Sanchez one was meant to be the best. I haven't watched it fully. But that went to the decision, isn't it? And the first one was just, was just.
I'm just on Batterbiev, the only champion with a 100% knockout ratio now.
Yeah. I think he was before as well, but he still is.
So.
There's other good ones, but I think everybody else has had a decision or two in there, even though he's the best. Crawford hasn't got it. Inoue hasn't got it.
Can you think of any boxers that have ever had it? I can only think of one. That was a guy called a Venezuelan called Edwin Villario. I think he had 24 fights with 24 knockouts. Or something.
Not world champions. I think there'd been a couple where they've had, but it depends how many fights it's getting over that, a reasonable number of fights. You can be it for a little bit. Even Golovkin didn't, and he's heavy-handed. He's it's going to take something really special to beat him, but we'll save that for when we do a Batterbiev thing.
Let's not get on that train yet.
Yeah. So, anything else? I think that's pretty much to wrap that up, isn't it?
Yeah, what did you think of the fight, guys?
Yeah,
I know from most of the comments it'll be, I told you so. Yes, I did get it wrong.
The British bias, we can forgive it. There's
I had hope.
Well, I think that there's a fair few outside of the British bias. Obviously, I think there's, like I said, there's a few American other promoters. Because he's got the height and reach, which is where I gave him a chance. And then when I seen another one, they said he doesn't actually use it.
Yeah.
Then I watched a little bit of that against Ryder and against Canelo, and I thought, he's not the one advantage. The couple of advantages he had, your reach, and I think you're not using it. And he didn't use it in this fight, which is a bit. But I think that's just the way he was. But yeah. So comment, tell us what you think, what you think the review, what you think is going to come up. Do you think the Batterbiev Bivol is going to get made? And, Callum Smith's options, what do you think? Should he stay or should he go now? And should he sort of have those, all right, it's a step down, but have those fights against the other British light heavyweights? Yeah. There's a fair stable to be quite interesting fights there, I think. And the usual, like, subscribe, all that goodness, or dislike, whichever. Yeah. It's up to you. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one.